All right, Odell Beckham Jr. made that great catch. He's had a great career. The guy who traded him away from the Giants, Dave Gettleman, has a quarterback that he hopes will become great. Here is Dave Gettleman when asked the question yesterday by reporters, hey, look, you picked up an extra first-round pick for next year. You got 2 first-rounders now. Did you make that trade and pick up that extra pick with the idea of upgrading at quarterback come 2022? Here's his answer.
Not even a thought. No. The trade was made because the opportunity, was there, and it was an opportunity to create a lot of value, and we really liked, the position that we were in. So no, that was not done as any kind of a hedge. We believe in Daniel, and we're excited to see what he's going to do when he, second year in the system. He's had, like I've said before, last year was his, third system in 3 years. So this will be his second year in the system. How diligent the kid is. We've talked about it all the time. He works, he works just as hard on the field as he does off the field, and he's more comfortable. He's more prepared, and it'll be fun to see what happens when we finally get the full complement of players out there with him.
Do you believe that after this year you will know one way or another whether Daniel Jones is the guy?
We certainly hope so.
There it is. Boom. There's the truth. Every once in a while, the truth happens to accidentally sneak out. Because I believe that they didn't deliberately trade down from 11 to 20 to stockpile a pick for next year because, hey, then we can move on from Daniel Jones, whether we use those picks as trade capital or to get a veteran or you package them and move up. No, it was an opportunity.
Exactly.
They lost out on Devontae Smith.
Right.
They wanted Kadarius Toney, and they wisely dropped 9 spots and still got him.
Yes.
Bravo.
Right.
Not even a golf clap. That's a real applause
It definitely
for Dave
is.
Gettleman. Right. And now you're all in with Daniel Jones. We've talked about this, Chris. It's no excuses, Daniel Jones, in 2021. Not with Tony, Kenny Golladay, Kyle Rudolph, Saquon Barkley's healthy. They still have Evan Ingram. No, it's Daniel, time for you to play like Josh Allen. And if you don't, hey, look at this. We got 2 first-round picks that we can use to either trade for Russell Wilson plus more. That's a possibility. He was linked to the Giants back when he got his last contract. There's other potential quarterbacks out there they could try to trade for, or they could try to trade up. So, yeah, if he doesn't get it done, we believe in you completely, Daniel Jones, and we will revisit whether we believe in you after this season.
Yeah, right. Welcome to the NFL. That's what everybody's life is like. We believe in you, and we'll see how the year goes, and we'll see if we still believe in you. I mean, I know, I'm glad you said that, Mike. I mean, first off, no, the Giants didn't make that trade looking down 2 years from now going, oh, well, Daniel might fall off, so let's get another asset. They truly do believe in Daniel Jones. He stands for everything the New York Giants want at the quarterback position. And the style of play they're trying to play on the offensive side of the football, they want a Daniel Jones type, a Tom Brady type, right? This is a lot of New England type coaching staff here. So that's what they're looking for. And also within the Giants, where, listen, I know the public is hard on Daniel Jones and things like that, and I get it. It hasn't been perfect. But what I want to say to people is like, well, what did you think was supposed to happen? He has that at a crappy offensive line. Saquon's been hurt. It wasn't like the weapons that last year were that great. Yeah, Evan Ingram's really talented. He's got a drop problem. So, okay, he catches a few balls. They would have won 1 or 2 more games. Sterling Shepard's good. Darius Slayton's a speed, take off the top type of guy. People act like he's left 5,000-yard seasons on the field. No. And that's where the Giants, I don't think, are looking too far down the road because, you say what you want about the Giants. This ain't their first rodeo. They're not going to panic, and they're also realistic enough to know, wait, rookie year, okay, showed a lot of promise and did some good things. Oh, then we changed the head coach and the offensive coordinator second year. All right, offensive line wasn't good. Saquon got hurt. And, he had to learn another system with Jason Garrett and do that. Like, what does everybody expect? So, yeah, of course they're in the we hope to see, and hopefully he sells us as the guy. There's a lot of good things he does. Yeah, he's got to improve what you see right here. Playing backyard football, doing that, being natural. Don't always be a robot. He can throw it. He's smart as hell, but he's got to stop taking sacks because he's trying to listen to what the coach says and going through the reads. And if he can do that, I think he's going to show some people because he's got talent. He doesn't lose control of the ball. He's got a pretty good arm. And as you've heard me say before, I don't know any other quarterbacks that had 80-yard runs last year. I know he tripped and fell. I just don't know any other ones that got 80 yards. Yeah, right. So, kiss my butt on all that stuff, too. I'm kind of sick of hearing all this stuff with Daniel Jones.
We may hear more about Daniel Jones coming up next hour, or technically this hour, since we're over by a few minutes, because we're going to have a draft of the quarterbacks that need to show us something this year. Saquon Barkley in the process of showing us that he's healthy. Barkley would be a great weapon for Jones to have to become the guy that he needs to be. Yesterday, Dave Gettleman was asked whether he still believes Barkley was the right selection with the second overall pick in the 2018 draft. Here's what Gettleman had to say.
Absolutely. Absolutely. He's stuff happens. Not everything's perfect. And there are guys all over this league that get hurt, and big-time players. And he's done a great job rehabbing. And I feel the same way about him. He's different, and he's going to be ready to go when he's ready to go.
Obviously, though, that stuff does happen more to running backs. Is that not?
I don't know that that's true.
You don't believe that they have shorter career lives than maybe other positions because of maybe the hits that they take?
Jordan, really and truly, really and truly, you can talk about injuries at any position. All right, I would not make a different decision today that I made in 2018, plain and simple.
Hey, he's gripping the side of that table like the bar on a roller coaster down the first hill, because if he let go of that table, there was going to be middle fingers flying. He did not appreciate that line of question. But Chris, look, for as much as I'll praise him about how he handled the Jones question about trading down and picking up draft picks, baloney. Stuff happens to running backs. Yes, there are injuries at every position, but your quarterback, thanks to the rule book, is walking around in a sheet of bubble wrap. And look, I don't think that I need to sell you on the idea that with the second overall pick in the 2018 draft, the New York Giants should have selected quarterback Wyoming Josh Allen.
Well, no, you don't have to sell me on that. That's my boy Blue. I thought he was the best quarterback in the draft, and, we're kind of seeing that. I hear what you're saying there. There's, I hear you. But, again, I'm not going to downgrade or get on Gettleman. Yeah, you said it's a dangerous position, running back. But there's a whole lot of top running backs we can look at too to go, they've played the first 4 years of their career and haven't been hurt at all. I know.
Then draft him in round 2, 3, or 4. Don't draft him with the second overall pick.
I get it. But also there's Ezekiel Elliott, who was the 4th pick, and he's been okay, right? So they also saw that within their own division. And here's the bottom line. A little bit I always give you credit for you calling the Kyler Murray shot, right, with Arizona. You said it at the end of the season when Josh Rosen was playing. I don't know if they're going to be able to pass up on Kyler Murray. You were saying at the Combine. This might be one of those things. Not that they had a special running back on their team, but what I'm saying is it's a hard guy to pass up. Saquon Barkley, he's got Hall of Fame talent. You watch the film and anybody did coming out of this is Barry Sanders type crap. Okay, I broke his ankles, and now I'm going to outrun everybody for a 70-yard touchdown. There's just not many people on the planet that can do that. So I'm not going to necessarily fault him for taking this guy because he is a special running back who has special skills that you just don't see come along all that often. And yeah, he's been burned by the injury bug, and now we can second guess. And yeah, that's part of, Dave Gettleman's risk-reward factor, taking a running back at number 2. But I'm not going to be mad at him for that choice.
Let's not overlook the fact that the Giants were still caught in that awkward late career Eli Manning dance.
Exactly right.
And if it was a year later, right, it just missed by a year. If it's a year later, you take the quarterback and not the running back. But that year, while you're still trying to get the last little bit of toothpaste out of the tube, it's all curled up down to the end, and you got to press on the back of it to get that last little dollop so you can brush your teeth before you go out the door. That's what they were doing in 2018.
I'm glad
with
you
Eli
brought that
Manning.
up. Right.
And Saquon Barkley helped.
Yes.
He helped Eli Manning's last year.
Yes, he did. Yeah, you're right, though. You know, that's why context matters. You're exactly right. They were trying to squeeze another year, maybe two. We think Eli could still do it if they give him the right support and have a run game and all those type of things. So that went into the decision, too. And the Giants fans weren't mad then, but here they are 3 years later now going to question it. And that's where, you know me, that just pisses me off, that kind of crap. Sorry, London. Yeah, it just does. Like, it's like, oh, okay, it was awesome then. Hasn't worked out now. Now we're going to criticize you. Yeah, I mean, I know it's pro sports and all those type of things, but I think you laid it out pretty perfectly there, right there.
All right, John Mara, owner of the team, said some stuff yesterday. We'll talk in more detail about one specific thing he said coming up. For now, though, he was asked whether or not general manager Dave Gettleman is on the hot seat. Here's Mara's response.
We're all in the hot seat. You know, I mean, with our fans in particular, we've given them too many losing seasons. It's time for us to start winning. But no, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that's an accurate statement. I'll look at that at the end of the season and see whether I think we're continuing to make progress and moving in the right direction. But I'm not issuing a playoff mandate. I don't think those ever do you any good. I don't think I need to say or do anything to motivate the people in this building any more than they're already motivated. They all want to win.
Don't tell me we're all on the hot seat. That you lose me with that first answer. I go back to Jed York, 2015, 2016-ish. You can't fire the owner. You can't fire the owner. John Mara is not on the hot seat. Everyone below him is, but he's exempt from that designation. The commissioner does not say at the end of a bad year, this owner's out. We're going to bring in a new owner to try to turn the team around. So spare me that. And I think Mara's approach is, he doesn't think it's helpful to use fear of being fired as a motivating tactic. Yeah, you may get fired, but let's not have that conversation in August. That's a conversation in January based upon how your team performs this year. Then we'll talk about whether or not you're going to keep your job. So there's a nuance to it, but it's pretty obvious. I mean, when we've been around the block enough times to know that, yeah, everybody's in jeopardy of getting fired at any given time, but saying it ahead of time isn't going to make your team any better.
No, it's just not the Giants' style. They're not going to do that, you know, and a little bit like what Dave Gettleman was saying about Daniel Jones holds true for John Mara talking about Dave Gettleman. We got to evaluate the year. Let's see how some of these picks go. Some of the free agents that we've signed over the last few years. You know, see how some of those moves perform on the actual field will be part of evaluating, okay, did Gettleman make the right moves and do all those type of things? So, I get it. I mean, yeah, we both know that if things go poorly, he's probably in trouble. There's no doubt about it. You know, there's been some good things that Dave Gettleman's done for that football team that he has changed over. But there's just been a few things that have been like, you know, the Odell Beckham Jr. thing. Of course, that made fans. Made enemies for Dave Gettleman and the Giant fan base to a degree. You know, I think the Nate Soldier really expensive contract at left tackle was another thing that's like people hold against him. But you know, there's been other things he's done with some mid-round receivers, the running back. He's changed the defensive front to where they're one of the most biggest physical front sevens in all of football. I mean, we'll see where it goes. They're not there yet, but I think they are a playoff-ish type football team. You know, if you ask me the top two teams that I'm going to go with in the NFC East this year, probably going to pick Washington. I think the Giants are going to give them a run for their money. I do. I have faith in Joe Judge and that group over there that they're going to get this straight, and we'll see where it goes. But I don't see it as a failure year.
I need to give your email address or your phone number to Vince, the Cowboys fan, who will now send me a flurry of profane and hostile emails because you did not properly respect the Dallas Cowboys.
Screw off, Vince.
I had another thought, and it was a really good. Oh, here it is.
You forgot?
I knew I'd remember.
That was like you
had
a Chris Sims moment there. Okay.
Yeah. Back to Gettleman and Jones. They really are tied together because think of it this way. If Jones flops this year, that's on Gettleman. And then if you're Mara, you're thinking, hey, we got the most attractive GM opening in the league. If we're handing the new GM 2 first-round picks that he can use however he sees fit to solve our quarterback situation right out of the gate. So something to keep in mind.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.